If I was a religious person, here's how I think I would perceive the world and people in it. If I were a religious person, I would consider myself and everyone else a child of God, born out of love, everyone deserving of respect and worth, everyone having value and purpose, despite what path they may be on. Because I would know that if I was a child of God and everyone was a child of God, then to have come from a perfect being, internally we come would have come from a place of perfection. And if God truly created us in his own image, then surely he would want the best for us. And he would want us to come to know him and his ways and the beauty and the joy and the peace that comes from a place of such unimaginable love and forgiveness. The capacity to forgive would be endless. And I know it wouldn't be my place to judge others because I would know that everyone is on a different path, yet all paths ultimately lead to the same destination. Because, after all, there's only one God, and we're all of him and about him. And we are here, my perspective would be that we would be here to do his work and his bidding. For whatever reason, he can't manifest himself, or perhaps we are manifestations of himself. And so for us to turn, for me to turn against anyone for any reason, would be the same thing as going against God. So how could I do that? And if I had a friend or knew somebody who was an atheist, who didn't believe, the last thing that I would ever consider doing would be separating myself, disassociating myself from them, just because they don't believe. Because to me, looking through the eyes of God, this person is on a stray path. And if anyone needs to feel a reason to be here, if anyone needs to be reminded of their worth and to be a recipient of forgiveness and respect, it's somebody who is following a path that is not in alignment with that of God. I would feel compassion for such a person. I'd want to just be there by their side, especially if they were already a friend of mine. I know there would be nothing that I could say or do to change their mind, any more than they could shake my faith with anything that they could say or do. Because I would know that God is there and he's forgiving and he's there with open arms, hoping that we will turn to him and accept his goodwill and his love and the joy that comes with that, and to shed the wickedness of our ways, to heal ourselves and to get off of this stray path and onto the straight and narrow. For me to separate myself from another human being another living, breathing soul, would be akin to God abandoning that person. Because as a messenger of God, as a carrier of God's will on this planet to do his work, it would be my duty to stand by that person, just to be present. I wouldn't have to say anything. I wouldn't have to ask any questions. I could offer my shoulder to cry on if they needed, lend them a hand. But there's no need to interfere, just to be present, to feel the love and the light of God channeling through me, to be the influence, to help guide them back onto the correct path. That's how I would see myself if I were a religious person. But I'm not a religious person. But I respect my friends, and I would stand by them through thick and thin. I would never abandon a friend. So I have to ask, how is it possible that someone who claims to be a religious person, who claims to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, could suddenly, without notice, silence a friendship in complete abandonment after 30 plus years of having established a trusting, respectful friendship? How can someone give up what is known in the here and now in favor of a belief in something that nobody has ever even come close to establishing is even anything among the realm of reality? It boggles the mind. I would welcome my friend back without judgment. I don't feel I would have anything to forgive him for, because in my eyes, he's a human being. I know he's a good, decent, honest, trusting, trustworthy person, which is why I liked him as a friend. So I can't fault him. It's not his fault. It's this belief that he has. If he can find a way to shed his belief and come back to reality, I'm still here. And I will always offer my friendship to him, no matter what. But if he chooses to maintain separation, that's his choice. And that's something that he has to live with. And if there was any possibility that his belief was actually in alignment with any kind of reality, then he would be the one that would have to answer to God. Just saying.